Welcome, everybody. It's Mark and Adam from the Sports Corner. We are back once again, week 12. We're almost getting to those playoffs, baby. Not just yet. I know we all want more of the season to happen, but we're almost there into the playoffs, week 12. I had another great week, guys. I'm 20-10 against the spread in the last 2 weeks, so I'm loving it. Adam took some stumbling down some stairs a bit, but he's looking to get back on that the horse, as they say, or that pedestal. I forget the damn saying. Week 12, we're here to give you all our picks, guys. Adam, you got anything to say about your little 2 week stumble here? Maybe not the favorites anymore.
Just like Jordan Love, the Toyota-thon is starting, and now my win streak will also start. So I can feel it. I'm starting to heat up.
Jordan Love. I don't know if that's the guy you want to put off your. He's like.
It's the Toyota-thon. That you don't know about that? Like in December, November, December, when the Toyota-thon starts, he plays lights out. So.
Oh, is that a thing?
We're coming into a hot streak. Yep.
You heard it here, folks. I never knew about that Toyota-thon. So all you Packer fans, rejoice, since you guys are going to be rocking the whole week, the rest of the season to the playoffs. So that's all right, guys. I'll put the record on the bottom here. Let's get it going. All of our picks. We're briefly going to talk the Thursday game. We are shooting this on Thursday, so we'll give it quickly to you guys when you guys tune in on this. We got the Bills and we got the Houston Texans, with the Texans with the Buffalo being favored by between 5 and 6 points. When I first wrote my notes, I wrote for 6 points, so we'll cut the difference. We'll call it 5.5, Adam. How about that? Bills are coming off a solid win and get over the Bucs. Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. Cook had over 100 total yards. Cook is not getting that many carries, in my opinion, yet. I believe he only had 16 carries that game. He needs 20 to 25. I think he needs that. Tampa Bay still ran over 200 yards on them, so this defense still is garbage. And their leading receivers without Kincaid is like Tyler Shavers, whoever the hell his way. So the Buffalo is still, I think, a shaky bet for anybody. And for the Texans side, Davis Mills is still a quarterback. That, I guess, CJ Stroud had a real bad concussion. They're coming off a win against the Titans, but only 3 points. They only won by 3 points, so keep that in mind. The Titans did cover that number. They've won 3 out of 4 games. They're still got a shot at the wild card in the AFC. But the offense is something we don't have to talk about the defense that much, because it's about the offense. Can Davis Mills get the ball to Nico Collins? Can he get to the new guy, the new rookie receiver, who's now become the number 2 wide receiver? And briefly, we'll talk about their defense. I know it's a big word, but just here's a little statistic for you guys. The Texans are top 3 in points allowed, yards per play, and they're top 3 and opponents' third down percentage. So they're holding it down on some of the most important statistics defensively. So Adam, do you think Josh Allen could cover this number with depleted? I mean, they don't have no weapons, in my opinion, besides Cook. Kincaid's gone for the year. The Coleman, their second round pick from last year, he's another healthy scratch for 2 games in a row now. And do you think this defense could keep Allen close enough so they could cover this number with David Mills?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I really struggle with the Bills, but in my opinion, Josh Allen is still the MVP. He can single-handedly wreck a game. I know the Texans defense can as well, but I just hate betting against the Bills when they can put 40 on almost anybody on any week. And I'm not saying they're going to on the Texans, but I still want to go with the Bills and Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans. I personally took the Texans at 6.5 when I saw it at 6 points. So I am financially with this at 6 points. 5.5, I like the hook still. So I would take it at 5.5. My thing is this. It's like, I think the Bills will probably win, but I don't like any of the weapons with the Cook. This defense is ferocious. They just need a few good plays by David Mills and Nico Collins. I think that what will describe this game is that Woody Marks and Nick Chubb need to have actually a decent game, because the run defense of the Bills is pretty crappy. So I'm going to take the 5.5 points. Like I said, I think the Houston at home as well would help out, but if they can contain Josh Allen, I think they have a shot. So let's get into it right away. And I don't know why I have this game right away on here, but I have on my notes, which I don't think they play. I don't think they play till the afternoon. Yeah,
Whatever
okay.
you got, just roll with it.
Yeah, I have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts in Kansas City, with the Kansas City Chiefs being favored by 3.5, and the over-under is 49.5 points. Oh, yes, it is a noon game, so I had it right. I'm sorry. So this is one of the game of the week, if not the game of the week, for a lot of people. Colts are coming off a bye, which I think that really helps out them with Sauce Gardner getting to know the playbook and all that. So good for them. Both losses, but both losses the Colts have came on the road because I know they're 8-2, but they're 2-2 away. So they've undefeated at home, but they lost their 2 games on the road. Um, I don't know if this worries you, Cody. I mean, cousin Cody. I don't know if this worries you, Adam, but they've only beat 2 teams with a winning record. Now I know you're supposed to beat the teams that are terrible, but I think when it comes down to these later seasons, late in the season, it does matter who you've defeated. Like, have you been challenged enough? And if you look at they're 8-2, and the 2 losses they have are against the 2 teams with a winning record, the Steelers and the Rams. And the best win they have is against the Broncos by 1 point. And I'll throw in the Chargers there too, but Chargers has been iffy of late. But that's about it. The best win I would say is the Broncos. Does that scare you all? The Colts only have 2 wins against 2 teams that have winning records.
It does, of course, but we are getting into that final third of the season, and things change. Teams can turn it on late in the year, so I think this will be a great test and kind of see how the end of the year is going to go for them. But of course, I'm worried.
Does it also bother you that Daniel Jones in the last 2 games had 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions? Do you think he's regressing a bit, or do you think just 2 bad games?
Who did they lose to against? The Steelers and
the last 2 games, they won against the Falcons. They lost against the Steelers. And those 2 games against the Steelers and Falcons, but those are not world beater defenses. He's had 2 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Yeah, no, it's not great. I don't know. I don't know if teams are figuring out their scheme or if it's just Daniel Jones regressing back to who he is.
Right.
I think it might be a little bit of both. So, yeah, this is going to be a great test.
Yeah, and as usual, this team runs through Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion, should be in the top 3 in MVP votes at least. He has 1,139 yards rushing, and 260 yards receiving, and 17 total touchdowns. Unbelievable. The guy has a shot at 25 total touchdowns, which is pretty amazing. Their defense is still middle of the road, so keep an eye on that. I say keep an eye on that because DeForest Buckner is out for this game, their bread and butter defender. So keep an eye on that. And Tre'Davious Ward, one of the better corners, who's been out with a long concussion. He was seen spotted on the field practicing. I think he'll probably be out this game as well. But keep an eye on that because if they get him and Sauce Gardner, that's a 1-2 punch that could be potentially really good. So that's all about them. Let's talk about the Chiefs. The disappointing Chiefs. People are saying the dynasty's over. They're calling it 5-5. They're coming off a loss to the Broncos. I thought the Chiefs would off a bye. Andy Reid off those buys. I thought he'd win it, but they come off a loss to the Broncos on a 2-game losing streak. The majority of their losses have been on the road, and so that's something to look for since they're playing at home. Obviously they're playing worse on the road than they are playing at home. What concerns me, which I've been honking my horn telling since the Cow's been coming in, they have no running game. Even with Pachenko out that game, is anybody afraid of Kareem Hunt? No. Is anybody afraid of Smith? No. That's why it's so stupid. Everybody says that the GM for the Kansas City is one of the better GMs. Why didn't you throw a 4th rounder? The Eagles spent like a 6th rounder in Tank Bigsby, and he's now the 2nd guy, and he's added actually juice to our team. You couldn't go grab somebody who's a half decent running back. Anybody right now would be better than the Chiefs running back. So they have no running game, and like I said, dumb for not getting a running back at the deadline. Adam, I think that's some of this. Do you think the Colts are legit? Do you think the Chiefs, who are also 3-7 against the spread, they are tied with the Packers as one of the worst teams covering the spread. So they're both 3-7. So man, do you think the Chiefs are done? Do you think the Colts are legit? They're tied for the best record in the AFC with 8-2. Who do you got, man? Do you think this desperate KC team's going to show up to bat here against a Colts team that probably wants something to prove and coming off a bye?
Yeah, they both have a lot to prove. Mahomes is really going to want it. But I still believe in the Colts. I think they had a little bad stretch there. Regroup after the bye, and we'll see if they can come out guns blazing again. But they looked so good all year, and like you said, they didn't have the best matchups, but I still think they're a legit team. So I'm going with Colts.
I think the best player is the under. I don't know. When I do my research, which I played these numbers at, 49.5 is kind of, I think that's the under because KC, since week 7 is when the better team's holding other teams from scoring. So they're really good at that. But I'm going to take the points. They're not, the Kansas City is not doing what they did last year. Remember last year they're winning all those close games? They are not doing this year. And if you're I take 3.5 team with a monster running back that is Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones just needs to play competent football, use that play action, throw to Alex Pierce over the top, Pittman going down the middle, and their great tight end Warren. I think they could roll with this. I think this Kansas City Chiefs are going to score points on them. Give me Rice for an anytime touchdown. But I think they can do enough and keep it close enough, and for them to cover this number. So give me also the Colts to cover the plus the 3.5 points. Now let's get to the a game that's going to be. I don't know. It depends if the starting quarterback is going to play this game. We have the Steelers versus the Bears in Chicago, baby. Bears being favored by 2.5 points, and the over-under's 45.5. Let's talk about the Steelers. Now, I say if the quarterback's going to play because Eric Rodgers has a fractured hand. And from what I read today, he still can't play underneath the center. It's hard for him to grip the ball and that. So he's still questionable. That means Mason Rudolph would be the guy. Now, Mason Rudolph, if he does play, he's not going to be to get the ball out of his hands quick like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is perfect for those flats, for those quick shots down the field. Well, not even down the field, just on the field, because Aaron Rodgers doesn't really go to the deep ball. But that's Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph loves the deep ball. He wants the time for the offensive line to hold so he could throw it over the top. So those are the difference in those two quarterbacks. And that's the question, Adam, is like if Aaron Rodgers was playing, he owns the Bears, right? He said he yelled it when he was with the Packers. I still own the Bears. Well, we don't know. And that's why this number is hard to predict. Besides that, let's stay on the Steelers here a little bit. They're 2-3 in their last 5 games. So they're not doing well on that. They got those 3 losses. And they're also 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games as road underdogs. So they're not covering as underdog when they're on the road. But this defense, I'm not sold either on them. They look, I told you guys, they have their moments where they look like they're the old Steelers, but I still think it's not. Age is still caught up to a little bit to them. So there's that. I don't know. It's hard, you know what I mean? Without Aaron Rodgers, I don't think it's tough to predict. But if Aaron Rodgers is there, I think this number will move. And do you feel confident in Mason Rudolph real quick?
No. I mean, have we seen him play this year?
No.
Right? No, obviously not. So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of backups starting to roll in with people getting hurt, and it's just really sketchy. I don't know. It's really hard to pick these games early. But without Rodgers, I don't want to touch the Steelers.
Yeah, I also want to mention that Jalen Warren, who they predicted wasn't going to be playing this week, he was limited practice with ankle injury, but ankle injury with a running back, and I think it's going to be Kenneth Gainwell. Also, Alex Higsmith, their starting linebacker, he's also with pectoral, and pectorals are really bad for linebackers and linemen. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. So this injury report means a lot, so pay attention to that line. Now let's talk about the Bears. They pulled another horseshoe, a clover, everything out their ass to win another game last minute. This team, because I'm not still not look at. Let me get something straight. They've won 3 comebacks in a row. They've won 7 out of 8 games. They're number 1 in the NFC North, right? But here's 2 things. One, me personally, I still think they're a little bit of fool's gold, okay? But also Vegas, even though they're number 1 in the division right now, they're predicted 3rd to win the division. Like, so they have the 3rd best odds to win the NFC North. Detroit's number 1, the Packers 2, and Bears are still number 3, even though they're number 1 in the division right now. So that tells you there, even though me personally, I know Adam probably doesn't personally believe in the Bears either, but even Vegas is saying like, we don't got them winning the NFC North, maybe the playoffs, but maybe not the NFC North. So, I don't know. We want to talk more about the Bears, man, even though they have their, like I said, and they're also 6-4 in the spreads. So they're covering spreads, but Adam, dude, they have some nice wins, but this comeback stuff, I feel like this stuff doesn't last. I really don't think it does. I keep on hearing people talk about Caleb Williams. I don't know what people are saying, but they like and seeing him. Is he better than like Rex Grossman and like a couple of guys? Sure. Is he better than Jay Cutler? Let's wait on that one. I think Jay Cutler still he's a better passer than him. But when I watch these games, I'm like, what are people seeing that I'm not seeing? He was 16 for 32 with no touchdown passes, 193 yards against the Vikings. It's like,
Clutch.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, is he using his legs? Sure, he's using his legs. But I don't think that's like, and he was 20 for 36, almost, almost 50% completion rate, only one touchdown. Is he not turning the ball over? Great. Yeah, he's not turning the ball over. But Caleb Williams is not some world beater. He has 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. So he's not throwing the ball out for touchdowns, and his completion rate's 58%. So I'm not seeing it with him. And I take that back. He has 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He has 9 touchdowns and 2/3 against the NFC. So, but I'm still not seeing this world beater. And I'm not seeing this world beater of him. Okay. I do like the running game. I think they should stick with the 2 running backs of Mugwanwe, or let's say his name, and Swift. Stick with that. But dude, what do you think about the Bears? I just told you about how they're predicted to they have the 3rd best odds of NFC North out of all the NFC North teams, even though they're in first place.
Yeah, they've had a crazy easy schedule. I mean, you have to like what Ben Johnson's doing. I think winning those close games does partly come down to coaching. I know Kale's had a couple good drives, but overall, I mean, he does have like a great escapability. So he'll have those times where there's like a free rusher and he spins off and, gets a first down. That's brutal. That sucks. But he only does it every once in a while. Otherwise, I'm not seeing much. I like some of their weapons. Colson Loveland's starting to break out a little bit. He looks like he's going to end up being one of the top tight ends. I mean, he was one of the top, like a 15th
draft
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. They have good pieces. Their defense still is not good.
Yeah.
And it's going to come back. They're not going to keep winning these close games.
Yeah, and these close games are not sustainable. They're just not. And they finally got a little. The 3 next games are brutal. They have the Pitt Steelers, which is gonna be depends if Aaron Rodgers is playing, and then they got the Eagles and they got the Packers. So there's a good chance they go 0-3 because I don't believe that they can do that. Well, with all that being said, I'll take this first one. Right now, I just can't take the Steelers because Aaron Rodgers. As we're doing this Thursday, I can't take Mason Rudolph. I don't think Mason Rudolph. He's not that. I love throwing the deep ball. Jalen Warren too. So I'm gonna take since it's a close number, 2.5 points, and we're seeing the Bears pull all these squeaking these games out. Maybe they squeak another one out, and Santos gets a field goal and win by 3 points. So reluctantly, I'm taking the Bears. But if Aaron Rodgers comes back, I don't know. I can see this number going back to. I can see this going to 1.5, maybe even going to the favor of the the Steelers. But right now, I just got to take the Bears, cover the 2.5 because I don't know what's up with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, if Rodgers is out, I'm with you. So I guess I have to go Bears. I mean, Rodgers with a hand injury, he already has such a limited kind of offense. It's going to be even worse. They can't just run the ball every play. It's not going to work. So
no, and they're not. Yeah, and they're not a good running team as it is. They like to pass those short passes to get yards instead of like rushing for them. Hey, but we'll see. Maybe Kenneth Gainwell pulls a rabbit out of his butt. So let's go to the AFC North or whatever. It's the Patriots versus the Bengals, with the Patriots being fair by 7.5. I know that now the number is, I believe, around 6 points, but open at 7.5, and that's when I wrote this. And the over/under is 49.5. Patriots, another team that great record, 8-2. They're on an 8-game winning streak. They look like they got a boost, and they got like a boost and this new weapon because they weren't using Trevon Henderson that much, or they weren't putting him in the right situations. But since Stevenson's been hurt, I believe 2, maybe 3 games, I think 2 games for sure. Henderson is
a long time.
He's had a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. He's looked like he was at Ohio State, I believe, and they finally unlocked what he's been doing, and now he looks great. So it's another weapon for him, for the Patriots. So good for them. They also get Kevin Butte, whatever his name is. He was hurt last week or 2 weeks in a row. He was a full participant, so he's back. So now when he got hurt, they've actually found another little weapon for Drake May and Matt Collins. Matt Collins had 2 good, decent games for them. So now Matt Collins, Butte, Diggs. I want to remind people too, though, Diggs is playing with a broken hand. He's been playing with a broken hand for a long time this season, so keep that in mind. But Matt Collins, Butte, and Diggs is now a good, decent wide receiver room, so it's not bad. And Henderson and Stevenson is questionable, so they may actually have some more weapons surrounding him. But when it comes to the Patriots, dude, like they're 9-2. I said they're 8-2. I'm sorry. They have some solid wins here. They do. Like they beat the Bills and they beat the Buccaneers, and that's it. The rest of the record, they beat 2 teams with a winning record, and that's it. That's just like the when I was talking about the Colts. 2 wins against 2 records, but they were 4th place last year. So this is what happens when you have an easy schedule and you're supposed to beat them, but let's don't count them as world beaters just yet. They're 29th. And this is what I mean by don't call them world beaters yet. They can't get after the quarterback. They can't. They're 29th in pass rush win rate. Okay, so they're not successfully getting quarterback hurries and quarterback sacks. So keep that in mind. Also, their pass defense still stinks. It just does. Okay, so this defense is not that. The defense is good at one thing only, and it's stopping the run. But if you have a competent quarterback, a real good one, you could light this secondary up,
and
because it gives
just to add to that. Sorry to cut you off. Milton Williams just got placed on IR too.
Oh, wow.
So that's a huge hole to their line as well.
No wonder I seen this. I don't know why I have it open at 7.5. I have it at 7.5. Maybe it went to 7.5 and now it came down to 6 because it opened at 5.5. And I think a lot of people, we'll call it 6 people. Okay.
Yeah. People, yeah. I think there's some Burrow whispers too.
True.
So I think there's a lot of moving parts here, but yeah.
So that's big. Mill Williams, their prize possession, which I told people he wasn't worth that money, but they got him anyways. Good run stopper, but when you're paying somebody that kind of money, you want to get them to get after the quarterback. But 29th in pass win rate. Secondary is dog shit. And now Mill Williams is on the AR. So keep that in mind. I just want to, so people don't know I'm just crapping on the Patriots. They're 5-0 in away games and covered in those games. So on the road, they're undefeated and they're covering those games. So keep that in mind. We're also playing a Bengals defense that sucks ass. So let's talk about the Bengals here real quick. They're coming off a blowout loss to the Steelers. Adam had the Steelers on that one. Cincinnati laid an egg for me. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 7 of the last 8 games. Flacco was hurt, but Burrow might play, like Adam told you. I don't know if that's a smart move since that guy's glass anyways. Burrow, they're 3-7. Mathematically, they're still getting the playoffs. But is it worth putting Burrow back in there? I don't know. Flacco has 11 touchdowns and 2 picks. I think you might have a better chance to call this a season and keep old man Flacco out there. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I agree. Flacco was a little beat up though. So I saw reports today that Burrow's taking first team reps in practice. Jamar Chase is suspended for the game for being a dumbass. Trey Henderson is doubtful. So yeah, I don't know. I obviously wouldn't throw Joe Burrow out into this kind of mess, but they were gonna do it anyway. So
yeah,
they don't seem to care. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
There's another one about we don't know who the quarterback's gonna play. So let's say Flacco doesn't play. It's Browning, and God help him if it's women trying to throw to T. Higgins. Also, just remind you how dog shit the Bengals defense is. Their defense is ranked 32nd in points allowed. They're letting 33.4 points a game. They're 32nd also yards allowed. They're allowing teams have 418 yards a game on them. That is god awful, people. That's astronomical. Okay, and like Adam said, no Jamar Chase. So Adam, we'll call it 6 points here because I had 7.5. Don't know if I actually was 7.5. Maybe I should wrote 6.5, but we'll call it 6. Do you think the Patriots could cover this? Like I said, Mill Williams is out. They can't really get after the quarterback. They pretty much got outscored their opponents, in my opinion. They will stop the run. Chris Brown is not that good at running back anyways for the Bengals. So, man, do you think they cover this one and the 6 points? And do you like – I'll throw in there if Joe Burrow is the quarterback, do you like the Bengals to cover it if he's there?
If Burrow's in, I would smash the over. And maybe a cover, but I'm gonna go the Patriots. I think, like you said, with the running back and then putting up points, I think they can do it. I don't love this game, but I don't want to overthink it.
Yeah, And I think the best stat I told you is that the Patriots are 5-0 away, and they've covered in all 5 of those games. So they play good at home. You know the weather's not going to be a factor. They're playing goddamn New England. But also, I think Kevin Booty Body's back, and they found a new one, Henderson. I think they're gonna put up points, like Adam said. But also, they'd be dumb to put Joe Burrow out there right away. I don't know, for whatever God reason, because I still don't, with him in there, still don't think they don't make the playoffs. But give us both the Patriots to cover the 6 points. Now let's go to a game that's in the same division as the Bengals. We have the Jets versus the Ravens. Baltimore being favored by 13.5, one of the big numbers of this week, and the over/under is 44.5 points. Excuse me. Jets are coming off a loss to the Patriots, but they played the Patriots tough in that game. If anybody was watching that game like me and Adam were, because it was Thursday night, we both I had the Jets covering that game. The Jets, no, we both had the Patriots covering the game. I'm sorry, the 12.5 points, but they only covered that the last fourth quarter, and they needed the Patriots scored the last 6 points in the fourth quarter. So it was a pretty tight game the whole way. So they played the Patriots tight. They've won 2 of the last 3 games, so that's something to look forward to. Tyrod Taylor is now the quarterback. Remember what I said, people. Tyrod Taylor is better. He has a higher floor than Justin Fields. The floor is on the bottom still, but Justin Fields, when he's bad, that guy's going he's through the floor, he's through the basement, he's in the goddamn foundation. That's how bad his floor is when throwing the ball. So his floor is pretty low, but it's a better floor than Justin Fields. There's no Wilson. Wilson is out. Garrett Wilson. So it's Mitchell and God knows what else they got to get throughout there. Tyler, the tight end, the rookie tight end, Breece Hall. So the weapons are limited, and the offense has been just dog crap since the season's began. They average a league worst 139 passing yards a game. So man, they're throwing high school numbers out there when it comes to the passing game. And but I guess one thing I could say positive for you guys, a little betting statistic here: the Jets have covered in each of their 3 games versus the AFC North. So they are covering against the AFC North. Take that for what it is. Dude, anything you want to say about the Jets, man? I mean, I think I would have kept Justin Fields in there and just get the worst record and just go draft him in the QB. But they got to sell tickets. Tyrod Taylor, do you think this offense with Tyrod Taylor has any bite still? Or
if he runs more, yeah. I think that's one thing Fields doesn't do enough that he should, is run more. So Breece Hall's been playing well. Tyrod can run and kind of open things up a little bit. So maybe they can score. I mean, they're still going to lose, obviously, but maybe they'll keep it closer with Tyrod.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Maybe Tyrod's steadiness at the quarterback will open the running back room because they got to respect the pass now, but I'm not really confident in the weapons. They really have nobody. But now let's talk about the Ravens. On a 4-game winning streak, on the heels of the Steelers to take over the division and a wild card. But a little breaking news here is that Lamar Jackson has an ankle injury, so keep that in mind. I don't know if he practiced today or he was limited, but he came onto the injury report with an ankle injury, so that's something to keep an eye on. I'm not seeing anything on here, so maybe he did fully practice, so keep an eye out for that, but that's not good for him, okay? Lamar. So a lot of things been happening with Lamar Jackson, man. He avoided a lot of sacks last year, and now Jackson is sacked 30% of the time when he's pressured, which is second to last in the league. That means when he's getting pressured, he's getting sacked one of the worst, one of the guys getting sacked the most in the NFL. So if you put some pressure on him, he's just taking the sacks. So that's not good. Last year, he was getting out of those sacks. He was running out of the pocket. He was doing what he could to get out of the sacks. He's also not getting the ball quicker out of his hands. He was in the top 10, getting the ball fast out of his hands to his weapons. Now he's in the bottom 10 of getting the ball out of his hands. So something's up. Offense is not clicking like it was last year. I think it has to do with the run game. I mean, Henry is not looking. I think maybe the I don't know, those many years of just knocking guys out, I think maybe it's catching up because the running game is not as good anymore. It just isn't, people. It's go watch it. I mean, I don't think anybody's really scared of Henry like they used to be. But one positive note, because when we always talk about in the beginning of this season, we all said how dog shit the Ravens defense was, but since week 7, the Baltimore is tied with Kansas City for the best scoring defense in the NFL. They're only allowing 14.3 points a game since week 7, so their defense is holding up, and I think it has to do with them getting healthy and making that trade for that guy who starts for their team now. And also the Ravens have won 4 out of the last 5 games at home versus AFC teams. So, dude, 13.5 is a big number. I guess it comes down to is how healthy is Lamar Jackson, and can this Jets team with Tyrod Taylor do anything with the limited weapons they have to keep it somewhat close? Because like I said, Tyrod Taylor's weapons, other than the running backs, is John Mechie, who was a 5th wide receiver for the Eagles before they traded him, and Mitchell, who was in the doghouse for the Colts. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to go Jets. I watched that game last week with the Ravens. They should have lost to the Browns. If that quarterback didn't get hurt, they would have lost. I know Myles Garrett wrecked that game, but that offense just isn't clicking. I know it was the Browns defense, though. But 13.5 points is a lot. I mean, a lot can happen, and I don't know. I just don't like how the Ravens are playing offensively, especially, and maybe the Jets can pull it out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised that you took. I can't get behind the 13.5 too. My only problem is the weapons for the wide receiver room for the Jets is terrible.
What weapons? What weapons
true.
are you speaking of?
Yeah, 100%. They need what you call it. They need Breece Hall and Isaiah Davis to take over the game. They need them to and Mason Taylor. But yeah, it's a lot of points for now. You're telling me that Lamar Jackson has an ankle injury, and they take it one solid hit can get him out of the game. So I think it's gonna be under 44.5 too. But I think since we're choosing winners and losers here, I'm going with you, man. I'm taking the Jets to cover the 13.5, and a game that I'm not excited to watch. So good luck to you, Jets. Hopefully you cover for us. Now let's go talk about another crappy, god awful team. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Titans, with Seattle being favored by 12.5 points, and the over/under is 40.5. Seattle's coming off a close loss to the Rams. Now,
great game.
Great game. Now that game, even though they lost, I'm impressed that they didn't lose by more, because Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions, and you would think with those 4 turnovers, the game should be 30 to freaking 19 or something like that. No, they had a shot to win the game. They tried to kick a 61-yarder. It went to a different planet. That's how far off it was. But it was a great game. I was impressed they kept that close. Their defense is really legit. Seattle's defense is ferocious. They get after the quarterback. So I think even though they lost, it was an impressive loss, if you know what I mean. I
totally agree. It didn't change my opinion about the Seahawks at all. Honestly, I almost feel better about them after that loss. I love how they just keep driving it down the field. Darnold is prone to some picks, and the Rams defense was really good. He just had a bad game, but everything else was just clicking. Their run game's still good. Defense looked great. Jackson Smith and Jigba is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I still love what they're doing. That loss changed nothing.
Yeah. There's a question about Sam Darnold in big games because he really dropped the ball in the playoffs last year, but that's not it. This is not a big game, okay? So we could come down the road, come to playoffs, and we'll see how he does. So what I'm just saying, folks, even though they lost, it was not a bad loss. They still look impressive. I'd like them to get the Rashid Shaheed out more, get him out in space, throw him some wide receiver screens. Hell, go out there for the deep ball. Go for 70 yards. You're playing against the Titans. Experiment. Get Rashid Shaheed. Evolve. Because Horton, the rookie, is probably not going to play this game. He's also hurt. Also, a good positive for the Seattle Seahawks is that Darnold has only been sacked 10 times. So they're protecting him like crazy. So that is a good note for them. And also, They're 8-2 against the spread, and they've won 18 out of 20 games on the road versus teams who have a worse record than them. So they're covering games galore, even dating back last year with that statistic. Now let's briefly talk about the Titans. Good for them. They lost against the Texans, but they only lost by 3 points. Something to hang your hat on. I think Ridley got hurt that game. I think he's done the whole year. But like I said before, they have that defensive tackle duel on Sweet and I believe Simmons, one of the better defensive tackle duels in the league. And Simmons, you always got to respect. I don't care how bad their team is, you still got to plan for that guy because he could wreck your team and he could stop. He's a one-man eating machine. So that's good. Other than that, no thank you. Cam Ward has been sacked 41 times. That's not good with this defense. So, and like I said, they have limited numbers, terrible running back room. There's nobody really. They have no weapons you're really scared of whatsoever. And also, the Titans are near the bottom of the league in points allowed, touchdowns allowed, and rushing yards allowed. So there you go. I'll take this one, Adam. Easy one. Give me the Seahawks. I know it's 12.5. I'll take them at 14.5, maybe 15.5, but give me them to cover the 12.5 points.
Yep, I totally agree. I mean, this spread is... I'm not thinking twice about this spread. I know the last game was the same size. I mean, it's totally different scenario. Seahawks all day.
Yeah, a Seahawks team that's out for blood for losing that game to the Rams, and now they got to keep ahead of them to win that division. So, easy pick for us. Now, we are flying to the frozen tundra. We are going to the Cheesehead land, where if they're not drinking, they're not happy. We're going to the Vikings versus the Packers, with the Packers being favored by 6 points and the over-unders 41.5. As we like to do this, we like to get a little Packer report for Adam. From Adam, the Packers don't cover again against the Giants. They win by 7 points. The hook gets them. I know you're probably more in that. You're more worried. You're more happy the Packers got to win, not the cover. But I don't know. I thought they should have won that game against the Giants in more convincing fashion. Like, this was a chance against a team that is 2-8, I believe. This was a team to like, okay, we lost the Panthers, we lost the Eagles. Let's drop the hammer. And that game was tied in the first half, I believe, 13-13. So they let's just talk about the Packers, I guess. I don't know, man. I think they even though they won that game, I feel like they should have won that game in a better fashion.
Oh, it was close till the end. Jordan Love had to make a really good drive. I think it was 20-20 at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Packers just cannot put a full game together. They can't do it. Packers had 7 drops on offense. So Romeo Doubs got hit in the hands, got hit in the chest. One guy that showed a replay, it hit his mouth guard. The ball hit his mouth guard. 5 drops on defense. 5 missed picks.
Damn.
No pass rush. They let Jameis Winston, who actually looked good, throw the ball all over the place. But yeah, no pass rush. I just don't know. I mean, Love played well.
You gotta say now that Hobbs was not that good of a signing. He like took a step back.
Terrible.
But
Yeah. So I don't know. I said last week that they didn't score 28. I was going to be livid. I was not happy the whole game. We played just right there with them the whole game and just eked it out at the end. It was 7 points. It could have been 3 points, whatever. It's disappointing, man. I don't know what's going on. I think the D line, if Rashawn Gary doesn't blow the whole game up, the D line just doesn't get after it. We're missing LVN, so I don't think he's back still this week. Rashawn Gary hasn't done jack in weeks. I don't know. It's just been disappointing. Because it's always like, if we could just do one thing, or if we could make these close plays, but we're consistently not making close plays. I still think we have a good team, but it's like just little things every week that we're just not doing. So I don't know. Still frustrated.
No, I hear you. Like, you saw what I wagered in that game. Like, I was like, I mean, so I remember I was worried just the money line. The money line, I was just worried, folks. I put a very large number on that game, and I was sweating it. I remember that, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is This is a game this is the game where you tighten the bolts, you cross the T's, you dot the I's, because you just had two bad losses, and then those losses you've only put up 20 points in those two games. So it's like this is a game you want to bounce back. They need Jaden Reed back like nobody's business. I know he's gonna. I know he's. I picked him up in our fantasy league because I put him in the IR, but I know he's getting out there a little bit. But like I think he'll probably come back in probably 2 weeks. But I think they need him like I don't know, like a fat kid who needs a candy, because Jacobs is hurt too, right? He might not play. I think he's out this game. So Jacobs is out. Wilson is the backup, right?
Yeah, he played well. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, I like Wilson. I'm not saying he's bad, but things are, what's going on here? We'll stick on the Packers real quick. I said they didn't cover. They're tied. I think it's a 3-way tie. One of the worst teams against the spread. They cannot. That means they're keeping. That means, Adam, they're keeping teams hanging around. That means they're keeping terrible teams hanging around when they should be blowing them out. Jordan Love has only completed 350 yards in the last 2 games, so that needs to be more. He threw 175 that one game, and I believe 174 the other game. When you're paying a guy $200 million, those numbers they need to be pumped up more. So let's keep an eye out for that. Also want to point out the Packers are 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games as favorites. 1-7 against the spread. That is pretty goddamn terrible for a team that a lot of people even chose to go to the Super Bowl again. But anyways, besides that, even though I'm not a Packer fan and people know it here, I'm surprised that they're struggling this much to pit wins together. Let's talk about the Vikings. Now, we don't have to spend too much time on there because it all comes down to one thing and one thing only when it comes to the Vikings. Good defense, yes. Great weapons, especially the wide receiver room. Great. But what the hell are you going to get at JJ McCarthy? What are you getting out of this kid? He said in an interview that he had to relearn the quarterback position because his mechanics were all messed up. You're right in the NFL, kid. What are we doing here? I don't understand when people get different quarterbacks, they try to switch them up. Remember Aaron Rodgers out of Cal? They wanted to change him up a little bit. But I'm sorry, that's not a bold confidence here, because I watch some of his games. I'm like, who are you throwing it to? Like, what? They're almost unbearable to watch. And I know Carson Wentz, I believe, is still in the IR. But if I was the Vikings, I want some aspirations to sneak in the playoffs here, I'd start Wentz. I don't care. Let McCarthy develop another year and see what he has next year, or the preseason or something. Because I'm saying, and I compare him to the Carson Wentz because he has worse numbers than Carson Wentz. He has 6 touchdowns for 8 interceptions, and he has a 52% completion rating. Okay, that means he's throwing 50-50 balls. You got goddamn Justin Jefferson. It should never be a 50-50 ball. Okay, they've lost 4 of the last 5 games to Vikings. So, dude, I'll let you take this one. The Packers are not covering. One of the worst teams are covering the spread. Then you have the Vikings, who have a quarterback who God knows what you're going to get out of him. He's apparently learning the quarterback position. They have great weapons. Running back room could be a little better. I like it's average, not great. Who are you going to like, man? I don't know. Obviously, the Packers got the better offense going, and that's hard to say. But like you said, I don't know. This is even though it's a big spread, I still feel like it's a tough game.
It is tough. I could see Aaron Jones wanting to score on us again. I don't know. This is
true.
His first revenge game. I think he was there last year. But yeah, you nailed it. JJ McCarthy is just not good enough, and I don't think they can sustain enough drives to put up enough points on the Packers. Obviously, I don't love betting the Packers here based on not covering hardly once this year, like you said. But I'm gonna go Packers. I do also think the Packers might have had a little bit of a hangover last week from that really tough Eagles game. That defense played lights out, and I'm gonna chalk it up to that. And this is a real bounce back.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, because JJ McCarthy looks like a deer in headlights, and I just don't like the Packers. Like, what are these? I just don't like. You have all these players everywhere, and why are you not putting it together? I just don't understand it. And it's like my frustration with the Eagles offense. But like, we figured out the defense really well. The defense is amazing. So this is tough. Usually when I'm these games, I look at the total number and it's 41. So Vegas saying it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a low scoring game, I should say. So against my better judgment, I'm gonna take the Vikings plus the 6 points. I, and I could see this where JJ McCarthy could like get throws a lot of turnovers, but until I see difference, the Packers can cover games. Like I said, they're 1-7, 1-6, and against when you're a favorite, you can't cover spread. I don't know, but hey, maybe you guys prove me wrong and they get a good divisional win. But yeah, so there we go. We have Adam got the Packers covering the 6. I got Vikings plus 6. Now let's stick in the NFC North. We have the Giants versus the Lions, and we have the Giants coming off a loss to the Packers. They cover in that game. The hook got it. They've lost 6 out of the last 7 games. The Giants. So nothing to write home about. The positive thing is one, Winston looked good coming back. He's not terrible. But second, Jackson Dart, from what I'm reading, could pass his concussion protocol, and he could play this game. So there is that. So they need that because he, like I said, he gave this team a spark. Jackson Dart has 17 touchdowns and only four turnovers, rushing and passing Jackson Dart. So he is the spark plug for this team. So if they could get him back for this game, I believe he'll go down the spread. Giants are also turning to the running game a little bit more. They have 70 rushes in the last 2 games, so 35 a rush each game, if you will. So they are running the ball a lot more with Montgomery, with Tracy. They're not Cam Scatterboo, but I think that's a good plan because their wide receiver room is not so great with Robinson and Slayton. So they are running more. The defense is fifth is in the bottom 5 in points allowed. So teams are scoring at them, and the front 7, it has been disappointing this year. After I'm saying all this, I don't know how they covered against the Packers, man. So the Giants, but do you think it makes a difference if Winston and Jackson Dart's there?
No, it doesn't. I think last week was a what do they say? It was like the coach bump after Daboll got fired.
Yeah.
And Winston was a little bit of a spark. I think they come back down to earth a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah. Also, they haven't won a game on the road yet. They're 0-6 on the road, the Giants. So they're not doing too well down the road. Lions coming off a loss to the Eagles. I wasn't surprised with that. But, we don't have to talk much about the Detroit offense. We don't have to talk about Detroit in general. We know all their weapons on offense. Laporta's still in the IR, so there's that. But the only thing we have to talk about the Lions is this: 2 things. If you can stop the run, they turn to garbage. If you can get any pressure on Goff, he turns into a old maid. He turns into garbage. So if they can protect Goff, because the guy doesn't like any pressure whatsoever, apparently, and if you can just stick to the run game and it opens up, you can win the game. Those are the 2 things Detroit has to do. Forget about the defense. All you do is protect Goff and get back to the rushing game, and the Lions win. Those are the 2 things. Because if the Giants front 7, if they could magically turn it back on and they could get after the Lions, I'm not saying the Lions will lose this game, but the Giants could definitely cover because you have to protect Goff, because it was proven that when he was flustered, he thought the Eagles were right in his face, and every time he said hike. And also the Eagles just stopped Gibbs and Montgomery to rush for anything. So that's the key for Detroit winning. All that being said, I'm going to say that I'm going to take the Lions to cover the 10 points. They need this win. Adam, I think last time when Detroit had they lost that game against the Vikings, me and you knew right away to take them against the Commanders, because that's like they needed that win after losing to the Vikings. So I think this is the same thing. They lost to the Eagles. They know they got to be up to the North, and the Giants are meeting them at the wrong time because they want blood. So I think they cover the 10 points.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Lions' only weakness on offense is that interior offensive line, which the Eagles just totally exploited. The Giants' D line has not been, world beaters this year, and like you said, they want to bounce back. So I think they cover as well.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Jackson Dart, do you risk him being out there? I don't know. The guy risks his body out a lot. Risks his body. So, keep that in mind. I might put Winston back out there, but we'll see. So give us the Lions to cover the number. Now let's go to a game that I think, I don't know. Not in my favorite card here. We have the Jaguars versus the Cardinals, with the Jaguars being favored by 3 points and the over-under is 47.5. Let's talk about the Jaguars. That was a great win. That was a great win against the Chargers. They got embarrassed by the Texans. It was the worst meltdown I've ever seen in my life. I'm letting 27 points in the fourth quarter. Not even the full fourth quarter. It was like, I don't know. It was an embarrassing loss by them. But comeback win, and they put the Chargers in their place. They blew the doors off the Chargers. And if you look at that game, the Chargers offense didn't do much. It wasn't the Chargers offense that really scared anybody. It was the defense, like Herbert, who played the majority of the game, who had 81 passing yards. I was like, what? Did he get hurt in the game? Like, no, he didn't get hurt. It was terrible. And they had no running game either. And Vidal got hurt. So the defense took a step up and they won that game for the Jaguars. They, like I said, they held the Chargers for 135 total yards on only 8 first downs. Are they going to do that again? That's pretty hard to do. But I still don't trust the Jaguars offense. I think their defense is the most reliable thing about them. But Brian Thomas is hurt. Travis Hunter's probably done for the year. I like Jacoby Myers as a good move by them, but Trevor Lawrence is still not that guy. I'm sorry. His touchdown to interception ratio is pretty close. They do like to pound the rock a lot. Travis Etienne will probably go over 1,000 yards rushing this year, but I still don't like him. I don't like it. I think it's above average running back room. I don't know, man. I'm not a believer in the Jaguars. Anything to say about them? Is there anything you like about them? I mean, they get after the quarterback a bit. I don't know. I'm not really impressed by them, even though they have a winning record.
Yeah, they played well last week, though. I do like their running game. That can really get going. Their new Bajal Tootin and ETN are a good combo. And the defense can get after it in some games. But they are inconsistent, and I hate Trevor Lawrence, so it's tough.
Yeah. You guys both have that long hair, both of you guys. Something you guys got in common. But now let's talk about the Cardinals. They got blown out. They got blown out by the 49ers. Me and Adam both had the 49ers in that one. They've lost 7 out of 8 games, people. Now, they stayed close. They stayed close in all those games. They really did. They've been fighting it till the end, and the majority of these games. But the last 2, you're like, is the water breaking from the dam? Is it coming through, or the foundation's crumbling? Because in the last 2, they did not cover, and they got their butts handed to them. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe all the things that's holding that team together, all the smoke and mirrors is coming. It's coming. It's unfolding in real time here. Like I said, they lost 7-8 games. They're 1-4 at home, so they don't play home at all. Good at home. They don't play good at home at all. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. Benson might not play this game either. The other backup running back was supposed to start, even though Bam Knight is looking decent. They're in the bottom 7 of sacks. They only average 1.9 sacks a game, so that's nothing really good. I mean, and Gannon is a defensive head coach. You think it'd be better? I don't know, dude. This is going to be the McBride show. Wilson did pretty good on offense, McBride and Wilson. I also think another wide receiver did really well. I can't remember his name right now, but I don't know, man. I'll let you take this one. Don't like the Jags offense. Cardinals are kind of breaking at the seams here. Kind of a difficult one. Jags are favored by 3 points. Who do you like, man?
I want the Jags. I like how they played last week. And I just don't like what I've seen from the Cardinals. I think they're starting to fall apart a little bit. And that fight's going to start to leave that team.
Yeah, I like the Jaguars too. They cover 3 points. I think this would be high scoring actually. But I think this could be definitely a 21-27 game. That they do go over the number, but I like the Jags too. Look, folks, Marvin Harrison's out. The defense can't get after the quarterback, and I don't know. I'm not really liking this game anyways. But now let's talk about a game that's going to be even more crappier. Two of the most god awful teams going at it. We have the Browns versus the Raiders, as I used to call it, a toilet bowl game. The Raiders being favored by 4 points and the over under 36.5. Let's talk about the Browns. They are coming off a loss to the Ravens. They did cover that game. I had the Browns, so good for that. Shador Sanders will start for them. He looked god awful. He had a 25% completion rating in that game. He's 4 for 16. You throw him to the Wolves against the Ravens. I see that's kind of hard. So I'll give him a break, I guess, for this one. They did get Cedric Tillman back a couple weeks ago. So that's good. But I think the most part people need to get worried about the most is, as I'm trying to get the words out of my mouth, is Judkins. He hasn't been so hot like he's been in the last when he first came to the when he first started playing it a lot bit more after his court case was dropped. He hasn't rushed for 100 yards in 5 straight games, and he hasn't had a touchdown and rushing touchdown in 3 straight games. So I think maybe the secret's out, if you will. Hey, let's just stop the run and let these crappy quarterbacks try to beat us. And I think that's what's happening. And if Judkins if he can't get the ball going, if he can't, I think that's stops them from doing really well. Or covering any games. The Browns. I also want to say, what can you say about Myles Garrett? I mean. The guy is probably going to get over 20 sacks this season. I think, what is he at, 15.5 now, 14.5?
Yeah. They got 4 last week or 5? How many did he have?
Yeah, it was 4 or 5. It was one of the two. But
insane.
Dude, this is what I'm talking about. Why would you re-sign with the Browns, man? You are wasting your career there. They wasted Joe Thomas's career, one of the better left tackles we've seen in decades. And now you are, he had 4 sacks against the Ravens. And now you're wasting away. Like, you are going to go down as probably the best D lineman in history of football, and you probably will never get a chip. You'll probably, because it's the Browns are one of the worst run organizations in all sports, not just the NFL, all sports. So why did you sign that deal? I don't know. If I'm the Browns, I'd have took all those first rounders that I think the Bears wanted to give him, and then I think the Eagles were introduced. I think the Eagles went a run at him with 2 first-round picks. I would have took him. God knows the Browns need to rebuild, but I can't believe it. They just wasted his career. But the guy's a monster. He's going to get over 20. He's going to get 20 or more sacks here. But that's it. It's their defense. They allowed the second fewest yards per game. They allow not a lot of points put on them. But the defense can only take you so far. The Browns have failed to cover 8 straight road underdog games. So when they're underdog or on the road, they don't cover. There's also that. And I mean, what can you say about the Raiders? Disappointment, in my opinion, this season. I don't know. They got weapons. Tucker, Brock Bowers is great. Genty, you got to feel bad for the guy. As soon as they say hike, defenders are in his face. So, the guy can't get off the ball. I think he's averaging 3.8 yards a carry, something like that. The Geno's getting sacked. The offensive line is bottom 5. So Geno's been sacked 31 times. Their defense is okay. It's not great. The Raiders offense only put up 15.5 points a game. I don't know, dude. So this is a tough one. I'll let you take away. It's basically, can the Browns offense get anything against this Raiders lackluster defense? Because we know the Browns defense didn't come to step up. But we don't know if the Browns offense, and nothing really, everything's below average with the Raiders. So tough one, man. And I'm surprised that they're favored by 4 points. I really am.
I think, the reason is Shadur Sanders looked so bad. You don't need to have a good defense to get turnovers and to potentially even score touchdowns on defense with quarterback play that terrible. The Browns defense is going to destroy the Raiders, but I think there's going to be at least one defensive touchdown and like at least like 3 turnovers from the Browns. And so for that reason, I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, this is tough, man, because we don't know we're going to Shadur Sanders. We have no idea we're going to have that guy. And you can have worse weapons. Tillman and Judy is not bad with Judkins. We don't know what's going on. I like Daniel Carson, the Raiders kicker, to go over 1.5 field goals. You could get there right now -1 something. So if I was a betting man, put a nice $300 on that. But when it comes to these crappy teams, man, I'll take any points I can get. So basically that's what I'm taking. I think the Raiders could win this game. I honestly can see this being a 10-14 game or 10-16. Like, I think whoever gets past 14 points first wins the game, basically. So I'm gonna take any points I have. I am not confident whatsoever, and I'm hoping Shadur Sanders could, take a step up in his game, which is not saying much, but it's better than what we did before. So give Adam the Raiders to cover the 4 and give me the Browns, who haven't covered as road underdogs, but maybe they could do it this one. So now let's talk about another 2 crappy teams. Let's stick with the crappy teams, get them out the way. We have the Falcons versus the Saints, with the Saints being favored by 2.5 points and the over-under 39.5. Falcons are coming off a loss to the Panthers. I'm glad I had the Panthers in that one. They got to the end of overtime. But the big news here is Michael Penix is out for the year. I believe he is done with a partial ACL tear. I don't really care about that because Michael Penix to me was not that great. I still don't think he's a starter in this league, but maybe he will prove me wrong, and maybe he'll get better and better. And then also big news, Drake London is out for this game. He is doubtful, and I think they said he was not going to play. They're on a 5-game losing streak, folks. I told you guys, if you watch my video before the season started, take the under on the Falcons, under their team total wins. That looks like a home run now. They're bottom 5 in scoring the offense, so they can't score with all, and they're bottom 5 in rush defense, so they can't stop the run and they can't put up points. Also, last time Penix was hurt and London, when they had Kurt there, it's like he had nobody to throw to. Mooney was like, Kirk just looks older. He can't get the ball fast enough at his hands. His arm looks weaker. It just does. Without Drake London, they looked terrible the last time. When Kirk Cousins was there, he just doesn't look good. I mean, Bijan and Tyler Algier should probably get 25 carries each to possibly win this game. They should use jumbo packages and just pound the rock. I feel like that's the only way they get after it. Now, the only thing, the saving grace I could pull out of the Falcons is that they had 17 sacks in the last 3 games. So they are getting after the quarterback. They do blitz a lot, and they have as many sacks as they have now than they had last year. So all the changes they did in the defensive schemes, and it's opened their defense up on sacks. But when you blitz, you're subject to the run. If somebody you boom, so that's it. So their defense is still subject to the run, but they could get after the quarterbacks. So that's something you can hold their hat on. But I think their offense is anemic without Penix and without Drake London, not even Penix. Let's talk about the Saints, man. Saints are coming off a bye. But before that, they beat the Panthers 17-7. That was one of their better wins of the season. Tyler Shook, I think I'm saying it right now. Pretty decent that game. 282 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So good for him. Not much to say about the Saints, man. Juwan Johnson has become a weapon for them since Rashid Shaheed left. He's had 2 back-to-back good games before the bye. Alvin Kamara, tad slower, but maybe he could get it going against the Falcons offense because the Falcons defense, because the Falcons rush defense is bottom 5. They still have Chris Olave, still a solid weapon. Him and Juwan Johnson are an actually nice combo. Hill still gets in there as that quasi tight end running back duo. Defense, it could be better, but tough game, man. In division, I guess I'll let you take the last one. I'll take this one. I Kirk Cousins looks like an old man. I think that he probably won't retire because he wants to keep that big contract, that money. I think he should retire to help to do a service to the Falcons. And last time they didn't have Drake London, they looked like they couldn't do anything. Even with BJ Robinson. So I think the Saints will put 7-8 in the box. They hold it close enough, and they could probably maybe win by a field goal. 20-17 or no 21-7 2017 when they cover the 2.5 points. So I'm taking the Saints reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't watched the Saints enough this year, to be honest, but the Falcons have just not shown up in a lot of games, and losing Drake London is huge. So I'm with you, Saints.
Yeah, it's going to be a crappy game, and I think the Falcons should have folded their cards now, and then they should either get some in defense or, honestly, no, it's a bad look. You sign Kirk Cousins, and then you draft Penix, and if you tell me you go draft another first-round quarterback, that GM should be fired on the spot. I'd be like, you're out of here, bud. Yep. Kirk Cousins will work out, and I'm not a Michael Penix lover. I think the guy's not a good quarterback. I think he'll be an average backup in this league, so that GM should be fired. Now, let's talk to the biggest NFC rivals there is. A team when people watch this, these teams played against each other, it gets tens and millions of views. That is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles favored by 3.5 points, over under 47.5 points.
3.5, Mark?
3.5.
That's it?
3 games in a row. The Packers, Detroit, and the Dallas. None of them have ever gone over 3.5 points. So let's talk about the Eagles. They are coming off a win versus the Lions. Good win. I think they would have had the win more. I think they would have had a better margin of a big margin win against the Lions if stupid Sirianni didn't go for that 4th and 1 play and he just punted the ball. But that's a whole different story. He's doing dumb things, dumb coaching decisions by Nick. Thanks, Nick. Let's what I done? Oh, yeah. The defense is now elite. It is now, I believe, in the conversations. I think in the conversations it will be with the Texans and Cleveland Browns as the most elite defenses. I don't have to repeat myself. I'll do real quick. Nolan Smith coming off from those 5 weeks of injury, adding Brandon Graham, adding Jaden Phillips, and Nakobe Dean coming off the PUP list when he was out those several weeks he was out for, has turned this team into good luck. Nolan Smith will get at you. You saw what Nakobe Dean did. He grabbed Montgomery, the running back, the more powerful running back, and threw him into golf. He literally threw him into golf, and they got the sack. That guy's a power machine, great at blitzing, great at covering, and Brandon Graham just adding the experience and one of the better run-stopping defensive ends in the league. So that opens our defense is now back at Slee, and Guantanamo Bay Mitchell has the lowest completion rate against wide receivers in the whole league.
Did you say Guantanamo Bay Mitchell?
That's what they call him. That's his nickname, Quittamino with a Q. Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's his nickname. They have switchers. Quittamino. I'm fucking. I can't pronounce it.
It sounds like you're saying it like an Indian tribe or something.
Yeah, folks. When I'm talking about the real Guantanamo Bay, I'm not talking about that. Which I'm against, but I don't. We're talking about the really great corner that is the Philadelphia Eagles, and also Adoree Jackson, our second corner in the last 2 games. I think maybe with more confidence, and he's gotten to the playbook. He's actually playing better, which is really great because the second corner spot was a bad spot for us, but he's playing better. I still don't trust him, but he's playing better. Let's talk about the offense. Folks, I know the offense is, I don't get it. I think it's a combination of our shitty ass offensive coordinator and our quarterback, and because he needs things to be simply for him. I don't get it, and I lean more towards the offensive coordinator because what happened when we had the head coach of the Saints, what happened with him? Our offense was amazing. The rush you get now, the O-line is beat up. They're more beat up than we were last year. We were lucky that we were pretty healthy last year. But the offense he calls are simple. Sometimes he's too conservative. He doesn't go for a deep ball when it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. He rushes the fucking ball because he knows how our defense can still stop him. Also, AJ Brown's getting called out. Jalen Hurts got called out this week, so they need to put it together. Okay, I know it's crappy. You're speaking to the choir. If we could fire all cylinders, we'd be a top 3 offense in the league because it's how elite our team is. I also want to point out that we're number one. We're the best red zone offense, and we're the best red zone defense. So keep that in mind. Also, Cam Jurgens might not play. He has a concussion, but I believe he's a full practice today. And also, Lane Johnson's out. He is fully out. He's in the IR. Well, I don't know if he's been put in the IR, but he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, we have a losing record without Lane Johnson. It's been better, though, the last most recent games with Fred Jackson being there. You guys could go check that out. But overall, when Lane Johnson was out, we had a bad record, but Big Fred is a good backup. I would say one of the top 10 backup offensive tackles in this league. So not bad have him playing right tackle, but pay attention to that center position. But I think Cam Jurgens is going to play the game. As I keep on going real quick, just some betting tidbits here for this game. The favorite is 7-1-1 against the spread in the last 9 games between the Philadelphia and Dallas Cowboys. So the team that's been favorite has won against the spread of the majority of those teams. Adam, as I talk about the Eagles, what do you guys say? The defense? Did you say the defense looks like it's because they were number 1 defense last year? Do you think they're back there again? And you can speak about the offense, but we both know it's crap city.
Yeah, it's hard to say that they're back to last year, but they have looked extremely dominant, easily in the top 3, like Super Bowl caliber dominant defense. The moves Howie made are paying off. That one edge guy from Miami is making an immediate impact.
Jaden Phillips, man, this guy's a monster.
Jaden Phillips, yeah, and like you said, Quinion is playing unreal. So the defense is amazing. I don't understand the offense either. The run game's not there like it was. AJ Brown, I don't know if they're gonna have to move on from him after this year, what they're doing, but I don't know. The defense has been good enough. So
yeah, if we get a second chip, I don't want to see AJ Brown go because I think he keeps the you got to respect when he's out there. But if we get a second chip and we get a first rounder after that, because he's worth the first rounder. I don't care what anybody says. I wouldn't mind that bad. So yeah, we'll get there when we get when the off season. Now let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, what I can't stand real quick about what I've been hearing about the Dallas Cowboys today and yesterday is that everybody now is saying, "Oh wow, the Cowboys are playing awesome. They are unbelievable. This legit." Like okay, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Raiders, folks. They beat the Raiders. It's like, what's that?
Sorry, Josh Allen's down holding his hand.
Oh.
He just got sacked from behind. Sorry to
No, you're good. You're good.
Keep
Little in-game breaking news here, people. My pick for the Texans might look good now. But yes, okay. They beat the Raiders. Whoopity doo. Okay, did Quinnen Williams look really good on his first game back with the Dallas Cowboys? He did. I think he had 1.5 sacks. He opened the door up for the rest of the defense. But folks, they're playing against the Raiders. And I see people all over the national news. They're basically calling them world beaters. Like, oh man, they're picking actually money line at the Cowboys to beat the Eagles. I don't get it. So great, you got Quinnen Williams. Your secondary is still god awful. That defense is still the second after the Bengals, letting the most points scored on them. Okay, your linebacking core is still god awful. It might be one of the worst linebacker cores of all football. Just have a slant and you could beat those guys. So great, you got Quinnen Williams, awesome. You're now you have a solid good 3 linemen. That's it, folks. I don't care. So maybe that will pay dividends with our backup or with our hurt offensive line, but with a running quarterback like Hurts, I don't know. Okay. The offense is amazing. We all know that, folks. George Pickens lit him up. CeeDee Lamb lit him up. Ferguson, good. Javonte Williams, really great. We know their offense is amazing. But also, like I said, we just remember, elite offense, shit defense. Okay, that's the difference between with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the one thing I'm worried about, what I'm actually really concerned about, is Dak Prescott's record at home against the NFC East. He's like 21-2. He's like 21-2. Like it's amazing his numbers against the. He has he just he just lights him up, man. Like he it's hard to beat the Cowboys in Cowboys when Dak is on the other side, and that really helped pay dividends because the guy just lights it up at home. You get him out of Dallas, he's still good, but he's not as great as he is with I guess his own division. So that worries me, man. This all comes down to it comes down to Dallas's elite offense versus the Cowboys' elite defense. And I'll take this one. Now, look, it does. I have really thought about taking the Cowboys plus the 3.5 points. And I have taken the Eagles a lot in the I took them every time, and it's paid well for me because they're one of the best covering teams in the NFL. They've won a lot of close games. And I'm taking them solely because one, even though our offense is not that great, has been that great, I still think we're a better complete team on the offense than that crappy Dallas defense. And second, just like the Kansas City Chiefs of last year, the Eagles are winning all these close games. And you know what? I think the just the additions and how all the defenses feeling stuff right now, I think we could cap the Dallas offense and put a loss on Dak Prescott's record at home against NFC East. So I am worried about this game. More worried than the Packers and Lions, but I still think they win this game. I can see it being 27-21, something like that.
Yeah. I've gone against the Eagles a lot just to kind of get under your skin, and my record has reflected those choices. The Eagles are not the same team that they were when they played the Cowboys early in the year. The defense is totally different. I don't think the Cowboys are going to score at will like they have on a lot of teams. So I'm going to go the Eagles.
That's a good point. When they played in the beginning of the year, our rush defense was not good. Rush defense is now amazing. And we were waiting for guys to get off the injured list. So you're totally right. And Jaden Phillips, since Jaden Phillips got to us, he's had 2 sacks already. He's had the most hurries in each game in his whole career. So the guy, he just added up. You gotta get the ball out your hands, or you're gonna get sacked by this team, and especially the tier linemen. What are you gonna do with those 2 big guys when they're blowing up the middle of the guards and they're just deflecting passes when you think you can get a pass? If you don't, good luck. You're gonna get sacked by one of those monsters. So it is tough, but I think it's gonna be a great game. But we're both taking the Eagles to cover the 3.5. Now let's get to arguably another game of the week, the Sunday night game. Buccaneers versus the Rams, with the Rams being favored by 6.5 and the over under 49.5 points. I do see this number at 7 points too, but when I did this, I got it at 6.5. I think the Buccaneers, what's that saying? Like it's starting now to fall apart. It's like they were in a lot of tough games. Baker Mayfield was sacrificing his body like nobody's been, like a father protecting his children. And now they've lost 3 of the last 4 games. The one they came against the Saints. All these injuries that have piled up against them. They are missing Mike Evans. I know the rookie Michael Buke is good. Tez Johnson for a 7th rounder, decent. Now, one good thing is maybe Bucky Irving is coming back, but he is questionable. He practiced limited on Thursday, but I read that there's some inside information that when the Buccaneers played the Philadelphia Eagles, they were hiding something. Now, this is from NBC Sports, that Mike Florio said that he got some inside information that Bucky Irving is worse than they let on, and so keep an eye on that. He is questionable, but don't hold your breath if he doesn't play. So
I read he wasn't playing today. I read somewhere that he wasn't playing. He's still listed as questionable. I don't know where I read it, but I remember reading that he's not going to play. Yeah,
so keep an eye on that, folks. But the chickens are coming to roost with them. Their offensive line was beat up. Their defense is not. I'm still concerned about it. I don't think their defense is good. I think when they have their picks again, they got to spend all on defense because Baker will get you there with his, and you get a home run with the rookie wide receiver. You have Mike Evans, you have Godwin for a little more, couple more years, and you still have Bucky Irving and all those guys. You hit your offense is okay. You got to spend everything in your resources to the defense because I don't like this besides Vita Vea and maybe a couple other guys, but that's it. And you know, I like the Buccaneers, man, but I think you're in agreement. I think it's all the injuries, and I think they're coming home to roost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Mayfield magic has run out a little bit. He really helped them stay so hot in the beginning.
Yeah, and I do like Levante David, but Reddick is questionable. Gene Dean is questionable. I like Winfield, but there's not a lot of guys I like in there. Vita Vea, like I said, I do like him, but also your boy, which I don't know, he's questionable. Your boy from he's living in practice today with an illness, but that's just an illness. Maybe he'll play that game. But guys, there you go. I think the house of cards are kind of falling on the Buccaneers here. I think Baker got to be beat up. Their defense has got to be tired. So I don't like them in this situation, and that's why the number is so big. Now let's talk about the Rams. Everybody's crowning the Rams to be the best teams in the NFL, and rightfully so. They're 8-2. They're killing it. What's his name? Matthew Stafford is having an MVP year. I think he's the leader in MVP. Puka Nacua is killing it. Devontae Adams is killing it. They have weapons galore. They can get after the quarterback. Their defense is holding teams to only 17.2 points a game, which is second in the NFL. They put up 27 points a game, which is sixth in the NFL. They're top 10 in passing yards. So, this team is great and each way around it. When you look at their team, the only thing is they put their starter Lake on the IR, Quinn Lake. They also put the right tackle, their starting right tackle, Rob Haverton on the IR, and they put Tyler Higbee all on the IR on Wednesday. So 3 starters went on the IR. So keep an eye on that. That could be that could help with the maybe a backdoor cover for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So with that, man, Rams look dynamite. They're playing against a Buccaneers team that like we said, we think that the cards are falling down. I'll let you take this one. Even though I told you all those guys are out on the IR with Quinn Lake and the starting right tackle, their team is still mostly put together. So who do you like, man? In this, actually, I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah, it should be a good game, but the Rams are just too complete. They had an impressive outing versus the Seahawks. Matt Stafford didn't look great in that game, honestly. I don't think that's going to hurt his MVP chances because people don't really care. Adams had a couple drops, too, at bad times. But they played too well. They looked great. Defense, offense, whole deal. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I'm with you. They look like world beaters, even though the Eagles did beat them. But they're one of the best teams in the NFL. Now let's go to our last game. Monday Night Football, Panthers versus 49ers. 49ers being favored by 6.5. What are you laughing over there?
I thought you said final ass game, but you said final ass.
Sorry, folks.
All right.
Yeah. The final game, you get her here, not the final ass game, but the final game. The Panthers versus the 49ers in San Francisco. 49ers favor 6.5. Over under 49.5 points. 49ers blew the doors on their last game. They won. They're still fighting for the top wild card spot. Hell, they're fighting for the NFC West division. So they're not down and out, folks. They blew out the Ravens. They blew out the Cardinals. They still have all those permanent injuries out for defense. But, Brock Purdy, I liked Mac Jones. I really did. But Brock Purdy looked pretty decent. 3 touchdowns, only 200 yards, but he was efficient. 19 for 26. It's basically get the ball to McCaffrey, who's on pace for 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving, which the last person to do it was McCarthy back on the Panthers. So the last person to do it, he's on pace to do that. They're getting more healthy on the offense. I feel like Juan Jennings, who I dropped in our fantasy league, who you picked up after I dropped him, I feel like he's getting better and better, a little healthier. He had the ribs problem, but I think through time he's getting better. George Kittle, he looks healthier. He's killing it. He had 2 touchdowns a game. Ricky Purcell, They really didn't use him that game too much, but he's there if they need them. So not so bad of a passing room when you have George Kittle and Juwan Jennings and Christian McCaffrey. Not bad. But their defense, it's still beat up and it's still awful. Brissett had 452 yards passing on them with 2 touchdowns. They lit them up. Now I know they were down in that game. In the beginning, it was 10-25 in the first half, but you shouldn't let Jacoby Brissett, who's out without Marvin Harrison and Wilson, light you up like that and lit them up. And that's it with the 49ers. They are solely beat up on defense, but they're coaching, which I feel like does a lot of heavy lifting, scheming, coaching well. But having Brock Purdy is a plus, and that's good. And I like George Kittle as a main weapon, and also Juwan Jennings as a backup, and McCarthy as a weapon. And you know, are you a 49ers believer, by the way? Do you think they can make some damage here? I mean, in general in the NFL?
Not with how beat up their defense is. I did like, obviously, what I saw from the offense and getting Purdy back. I was kind of worried that he was going to have some rust because he's been sitting for a while. Yeah. But you got to love the offense. Maybe not love, but like you said, with the coaching and the offense combined, they are still a dangerous team. It's just that defense isn't going to take them far into the playoffs.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I agree with that. Defense actually, it matters in the playoffs a little more not more than the offense, but the offense. Well, I don't want to talk about the playoffs because I was going to lay some statistics. Besides that, let's start with the Panthers. They have a good and solid win. They needed that win. They lost to the Saints, a divisional loss, and then they come back and they beat the Panthers in overtime. When at one point the Falcons were 75% to win that game. They came back, they win that game. They put up 30 points. Bryce Young threw up 448 yards passing on the Falcons with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Panthers, they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I had them covering against the Saints. We both did, and one of our best bets, and they don't cover it against the Saints. Then they go to Atlanta, which they're not the best away team. Before that game, they were 2-3, or 3-3, or 2-3, and they come back and they beat the Atlanta Falcons, and they put 30 on them. So they are, they're wishy-washy. You never know what you're getting from them. They're still fighting for a wild card spot, so they're 6-5. They still got a good shot. They're actually a sneaky good running defense team. People don't realize that they're a good rushing defense. So they're not just like their defense is actually not bad. Their interior linemen on the offensive side, one of the best combo guards in the business. That's why Rico Dowell, that's why Chuba Hubbard could push down the middle. They're a solid team. They're an up-and-coming team. I still don't know if Bryce Young's that guy. I still don't like a lot of their passing weapons. I do like their, the guy they did, like I said, out of Arizona State. But I want to see more out of their weapons, and maybe he could build more rapport because McMillan did have 130 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Maybe him and Bryce Young could light it up some more, and then they could work that in with the running game. I'll take this one. It's a big number. I see it on 7 points on some other books. And you know what? Even though it's disappointed against the Saints, I think they could keep up this god-awful 49ers defense, this injury-prone defense. I like the Panthers in this, and wherever I could get at 7 points, I'll take it at 7 points. But right now I said 6.5. I'm going to take 7. I think they may not win this game, but I think they could keep it close enough with that running game, just pounding them, and they could go toe-to-toe with Brock Purdy. I really think they can. And yeah, I think it's actually be a good Monday night game, but I like a sneaky cover here. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers win it outright. I'm just going to say that. But I like the Panthers to cover the plus the 6.5.
I think we've been agreeing too much, and the Panthers just don't show up some games. I think they have a good running game, and they do funnel too much through that top wide receiver that they have. And the Niners offense looked great last week. So I'm going to go Niners. Keeping it chalk, baby. Every time.
Yeah, it's a big number, but they're 3-3 in a way, the Panthers, so we'll see. But yeah, I hear you. It could be I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm actually gonna be pumped to watch it. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, like little fan of them. I do. I like to see them succeed a little bit. Now, guys, it's time for our best bets. I'm pulled ahead of the best bets finally, Adam. That's one thing he had a dominant lead, but I finally pulled ahead of him. We both like 4 games. We usually do 3 games. One time we picked 4 games before, but we're doing 4 games again. Now, since I had the winning week, I'll go first, as the winner always does. The first game, this game, I just don't know how it's 12.5. I'd pick 14.5 in this game. Is the Seahawks versus the Titans. I know the Titans covered last week, but the Seahawks are relatively healthy. They just lost. They got to keep up with the Rams to win that division. So I think the Titans are just meeting them at a terrible time. And I think this defense just gets after Cam Ward because he's been sacked 41 times. I think they cover this number 12.5 points. So give me the Seattle to cover that. And then just like I took Detroit last time when they lost and they covered against the Commanders, they lost against the Eagles, and I'm having them cover against the Giants. Now I am worried about Jackson Dart if he does play this game, because he uses legs, and maybe that could keep the Lions second guessing what's going to happen with the controlling the offense. That is that. I'm just trying to say Jackson Dart could make this more dangerous against the Lions. But I think they want to win this division. They got to win this game. This is a must win. It truly is, because the NFC North is still up to anybody's grabs. So I like them to cover the 10.5 points against a Giants team that's going nowhere. And my third game, I like the over 47.5 points and the Jaguars and Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to play catch up with the Jaguars, and I think the Cardinals are just going to light it up like they did last week when they were getting blown out. They're just going to throw up a lot of points. I think it's going to be an easy 24-27 game or 27-21 kind of game. So give me the over in the Jags and the Cardinals. And this one, I was a little, but I truly believe the Panthers could keep up with the 49ers and win an outright. I like them plus 6.5. I'll take it at 7 where I can find it, but I wrote down 6.5. So I'll take the Panthers to cover the number against the San Francisco 49ers. Tough game, but I like them.
Yeah, no, good picks. We got a couple overlaps per usual. I think my thinking with the best bets this week are teams are starting to solidify at the top of the league, where it kind of hasn't been like that for the last couple weeks. So in the words of Macho Man, the cream rises to the top, baby. To the top. So the first 2 we had the same. I want the Seahawks over the Titans. The Seahawks just look too good, and they don't take games off. Lions over
bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. And then Lions over the Giants, same deal. I think the Lions really want to bounce back and can definitely score. They need that offense to unleash on the Giants. And then next, I want the Rams over the Bucs. 6.5.
I was thinking about that game myself.
Yeah, they looked too good last week, and the Bucs haven't shown that they can hang with the big dogs. And then finally, maybe I'm throwing you a bone, maybe I'm being crazy, but I want the Eagles over the Cowboys for my best bet. I'm taking a hard turn from the previous weeks. We're doing a little 180. Desperate times in the betting world calls for desperate measures. So I loved what I saw last week.
I have a soundboard here, but I don't know if it plays the sounds while we're doing this. But if anybody heard that was a record scratch, I don't know if that's if anybody can hear that. But I don't know, man. You've been not that good in your picks. That kind of scares me. All right, you heard it here, folks. If the Eagles don't cover this game, because mush, bad luck, Chuck here.
If that doesn't happen, then I'm betting them for the Super Bowl. That's what I'm doing. So.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, well, guys. Yeah, like and subscribe. It goes a long way. This is awesome. We love doing this, as I always say. I had two killer weeks, like I said, 20-10 against the spread in the last 2 weeks. I'll put our records in the beginning and then after this, and our best bets in the bottom too. So you guys see I got our records, but a lot of great games. We're coming down to the playoffs. People need who's going to win the divisions, who's not. A lot of great games. We love doing it, guys. Bet responsible. Shop your books. Get the best number out there, because that's how you beat the books. So with that, guys, week 12, our picks are in. always, like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. And as usual, we'll see you in week 13, and we'll see you in the next one. Woo!